Hello, this is video number 8 of our deep dive into some county data. And if you are not caught up yet, you need to probably go back to number 1 or someplace else and work your way through to get to this point, because we've taken a big, huge piece of data and we've managed with it and manipulated it to get to this point right here. And what we're doing is creating some lookups so we can compare different counties and things in whatever state we choose by the year that we select the year. So the last thing we did was created this VLOOKUP formula in F4 of our county comparison sheet. And now when we select a year, it's going to change the value here. And this tells us where to look in our big chart for the data that we're going to pull. So let's go ahead and do this. First, let's select everything. So we're going to click up in this box up here, and let's just make all of the text nice and big. Let's go to 14 just to make it really easy to see. And then let's select District of Columbia, and then go up to the top of E and the right side and double click so that we fit District of Columbia. And the only reason why we chose District of Columbia is because it's got the most text, and that way we know anything else we choose is going to fit into this column. So we've got that done. Now let's go ahead and run a query to get all of the counties. And District of Columbia doesn't have any. It is its own place. So let's just do Alabama so we have something to choose from. And let's go ahead then and click on E7. And we're going to do a query formula to get everything from all the county names from Alabama. So all we have to do is type in equals, and then the word query, Q-U-E-R-Y, parentheses. And remember, we already named a range of data. We called it all data. That's all one word with a capital D, and all the rest under or lowercase. So all data, comma, and then we're going to do a quote, and then type the word select, because we're going to say, what are we going to actually select? What data are we going to select? And what we want to see is the column. We want to see the county name. That's in column B. So we're going to say select B, and then, no, that's in column A. So select A. And then we want to say select A, the county name, where B, which is the state name, equals whatever is in E3. And the way we do this is we type in the word where, W-H-E-R-E, where B, so select A, column A, where B equals, and then here's where it gets a little bit wonky, but there's a reason why we do this. We're going to do a single quote, a double quote, then we're going to type in the and sign, which is shift 7, and then we're going to type in E3. So whatever is in E3 is what we're going to look for in column B to return column A. Now just do another and sign, another double quote, another single quote, and then to close out the whole select, do one more double quote, and to close out the whole formula, do another parentheses, and click enter. And you're going to get a list of all the counties in that state. And you can check that by just selecting different places, and you get a bunch of different counties. So these are the counties that pertain to this state. Now I want to make one more modification to this formula. Go ahead and click up on E7, and I'm going to go to the very end of the formula, but before I get outside the parentheses, and I'm going to do comma 0. And what comma 0 does is it makes sure that the headers don't come into this query. If you did comma 1, I would make sure I had the headers. So if I did comma 1, then it adds the headers. But I actually don't want the headers this time because I want to make my own headers. So I'll do comma 0, and that makes sure that no headers come. So I've got that done, and maybe just make my headers. So on E6, I'm just going to type in the word county, and then on F6, I'm going to type in the word population. There we go. And the reason why I didn't want the headers is because if I had the headers, then where I have population would be the year, but I've already selected the year right here. So I don't necessarily need this in more places than one. Instead, I want to show what am I actually looking for in that year. So now we just need to get the actual population for this county for this year. And the way we do that is we're going to use a VLOOKUP, like we've done before, but we're going to use this value in F4 to tell us where to look. So let's follow along close so we get this VLOOKUP done just right. So click on F7 and type in equals, then VLOOKUP, so equals VLOOKUP, parentheses, Now, what do we want to look up? We want to look up the county. So just click on E7. So VLOOKUP E7, comma. Now, where do we want to look? We want to look in data, and we want to look in all of data. So you need to click on data, like this, and we're going to click on A, so very, very top where it says A, and then hold my mouse down and get all of the data like that. Now, you know you've done something wrong if your formula disappears. Sometimes you might click something or hit enter or do something else, type something in, and break your formula. So if this disappears, where it says equals VLOOKUP, then you're in bad shape and you need to basically start writing the formula again. It just means that you made some sort of a mistake in typing something in. But because I see the formula, that means that technically I'm still working on my county comparisons sheet. I just went over here to designate the data that I want to look for. So now my formula should say equals VLOOKUP E7 data A:0. Then I'm going to go back to county comparisons. And then I'm going to add a comma. And this is where I need to say how many columns am I looking over. And this is where I'm going to use this value here. I can just click on or type in F4. And then I'm going to close this out with a parenthesis and click enter. And it says NA. I wonder why it says NA. We'll check it out. Oh yes, and this is an easy one. So I forgot. After the F4 in this formula, we need to do comma and then just type the word false in. Because basically what this means is it finds the first iteration of Aleutians West in this range and then it returns that value. So now if I click enter, I get a 0 because I guess nobody lived there back then. So let's go ahead and just select maybe a more recent date. So 2000, there we go. So some people lived in Aleutians West in 2000. And if I select different dates, then I get different values. Good. So 2020, 5,500 people. All right, good. So now we just need to copy this formula down to all of our other rows. And that will be the topic of the next video. So this concludes this one. Jump on the next video and continue on.